Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. On this episode, we talk about a crazy badge fiasco. You're going to want to tune in to hear a whole story. Then a teacher is going to the masters. And then other teachers are saying they don't feel so safe in the classroom. We'll get to talking about that. Don't forget to tune in. Thank you guys so much. Crying in My Car starts now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. I'm Devin Seabold. I got James Yan in the house. We're here to make you laugh, hopefully ease the workday stress that comes along with teaching. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars. Share it out. If you're watching on YouTube, give it the thumbs up. Maybe a little comment, help the engagement out. We love making the laughs for you. We just want the expansion. We want more teachers to go, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I found that.
We just want the validation.
Yes, the validation.
That's all we
That's
want.
what I meant. That's what I meant to say.
That's all we need.
But and honestly, you guys have been amazing coming up to us at the shows. Oh my goodness, I have to do this because I told them that I would shout them out. There were some amazing teachers that came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Lauren and Carrie, fans of Crying in My Car, came up to me at the last show we did in Mississippi, and it was so great to meet you. But there was honestly Crying in My Cars everywhere. They were all over the place. Not fans, just literally women crying in their car. It was teachers that were getting to the show.
I love that. It's like a commercial. You're like, Crying in My Car. It's like a visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Everywhere you don't, yeah. And but they said, tell James that, we said hi. I said, so I am.
Thank you.
Now you got it right in front of you.
Guys.
Now, don't forget, you can check out a show too. Now, the Board Teachers Tour for the spring is winding down. I've got a few solo dates coming up. I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri, June 4th, Omaha, June 5th, Des Moines, June 6th, and then Tampa, June 9th, and a stop off over in Nashville as well. And then the big tour comes back. We are doing the Board Teachers comedy tour, and I forget, what's this one called? The We Can't Make This Stuff Up was the last one.
Yeah.
And now it's just craziness. What is it? The struggle is real. I'm struggling to remember it.
Wow.
The struggle is real. All new comedy. Got a whole bunch of new jokes for you guys. It's been just an amazing time. All the teachers love it. Don't forget, we are coming your way. We're kicking off the summer tour in Billings, Montana, Bozeman, Missoula, Baton Rouge, going all the way through end of August. And the new tour dates are even on sale all the way through December as of now. So we are coming your way. And already they're talking about next year.
Hey, you know what makes a great Christmas gift?
What's that?
Tickets to this show.
Absolutely. And you can get them now, and then you won't have to worry about them at Christmas. Just take them, and then when Christmas time, they open up their box, it's empty, and you go, yeah, I already got it. What were you thinking? I'd buy you 2 things?
Yes.
Why would I? Why would I do that?
What are we, the Rockefellers? Yeah.
Now, James, I got to tell you a story, okay? My friend, I speak in schools, as you know.
Yes, you do.
I do speaking all over, motivational speaking. I go around, do keynotes, and I recently did one that it's one of those ones that just really, the people were great.
Okay.
The school was great, but you see the bureaucracy behind the scenes, and you're like, "Urgh." So what happened is a school reached out to me and said, would you come speak? I said, absolutely. I would love to come speak. It was a local school, and I was excited because it was somebody that I knew, a fan that I'd seen at other shows, and it was going to be a great time. Now, then it came to, okay, this date is set, we're done, and we think that's it. No. They send over a packet. I have to be approved as a vendor. And I've seen this before, the vendor volunteer packets. Man, are they long.
Yes, they are.
So it's like 20 pages. Takes you like 2 hours to fill out. Mm-hmm. We fill it out. Send it back. Okay, we need you to get fingerprinted and a full background check. Now, I tell them, I say, I actually am still qualified to work in the state of Florida. I still have my teaching certificate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my background check still holds from still teaching.
Yes.
And they're like, if it hasn't been done in the last 6 months, you have to do it again.
Ugh.
So I had to schedule, cost me like $90. I go to the UPS store, they scan my fingerprints. And by the way, don't eat right before, because there was some chicken grease on that screen. She was like, turn it, and I was like, and she's like, well, that slid, and I'm like, oh, sorry
About that. There's a much cheaper and easier way to get fingerprints for free.
What's that?
Get arrested.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I had to do the fingerprinting, okay? And they were like, yeah, just do the fingerprinting, and then when the background check comes back and the fingerprinting comes back, you'll be clear. Okay. So this is the district, by the way. And the school's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It comes back. They go, congratulations, Mr. Siebold. Your background check is clear. Your fingerprinting is clear.
Good news.
And then the principal emails back and says, great, we'll see you in 7 days at our speaking engagement. And then the county responded and said, about that. While he's cleared, while he is approved, and everything is in, he needs an official plastic badge. And that official plastic badge was sent off 2 days ago to be mailed to us, but it comes from New Jersey and it takes 15 business days.
Oh, wow.
And the principal's like, can't he just come because it's already approved? No. You have to go pick up the physical badge.
Yes, of course.
Wear the badge, like just Wayne and Garth, like
yes.
Going backstage. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so the principal was like, well, we have our event in 7 days. And they're like, well, tough luck. State law, they got to have the badge. The badge has to be present when they're working on the school grounds, even though all the paperwork is approved. You could print out everything and say, everything to get it is approved.
Yes.
It's just he doesn't have a hello, my name is
Devin Siebold. Yeah.
on his.
Yeah.
And so we were like, well, maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. And it came the day before. Now you have to drive to the district. You have to pick up the badge and get the badge.
You have to do that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then go. They don't send the badge to the school. By the way,
why would they?
You have to go to the district. Now here's the crazy thing, James. When you go to the district to get your badge, do you know what you have to bring and show?
A badge?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You have to bring all of the paperwork that says you were approved. The stuff that they needed to get the badge, you have to show them to then get the badge again.
There you go.
But keep in mind, they wouldn't have printed the badge if I didn't have that.
Yes, sir.
I mean, an approved licensed teacher that is ready to go in the state can't walk into a different school and talk unless they go through a 30-day process of fingerprinting for another school.
That's right.
In the same state.
That's crazy.
And so, I mean, you get the badge, and then what do you do when you walk in? Hi. And like, come on in.
No one even looked at the badge. No one looked at the badge.
I think I could have held up the McLovin ID, and then it still would have been, yeah.
Now, this whole process, did it take you right back to when you were a teacher and experiencing bureaucracy every single day?
Oh, my gosh.
It took you right back, right? Like,
It's so frustrating, man.
It must be.
But that's with all the school districts. That's not just limited to there.
I'm sure it's
I mean, I've just spoken Jersey, I've spoken Texas, I've spoken. The good news is, let me tell you this. The good news is I love speaking at these schools and I love encountering all the teachers.
Absolutely.
The bad news is that big districts usually rarely book me. And the reason being is the bigger the district, the more tape.
Really?
Yeah, the more things they have to go through because they have, instead of one person working at the district handling all this stuff, they have 6 people and it has to be passed down. Oh, you're fingerprinting? Well, you have to go from the fingerprinting office over to the badge office. And then after you go to the badge office, you go back to the fingerprinting office and you have to go to the approval office and the HR office and the vendor office is back there.
Yeah.
And it's all just, 20 different people. And but I speak at a ton of small school districts because they don't have the red tape.
It's easier.
The superintendent will literally pull out his pocketbook and be like, here you go, man. Have a good day.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, what was your name again? Well, I just spoke in front of your kid. You hired me.
Yeah, you hired me to be here.
But yeah, it's the rural that doesn't have the red tape.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I see teachers are happier in the rural schools because of the lack of oversight, red tape. that they have to do.
right.
There's no, the politics aren't as big in those schools. It's not, oh, the district said it and we're going to have a meeting at the school board about it. And it's just, I don't know, small town
those
life.
teachers probably know the superintendent.
They
because-
know each other.
Yeah, they know each other.
They're all friends.
Yeah.
They're all hanging out after school and
Yeah.
going to church together. And
Yeah.
yeah. So the Badge Fiasco, I loved performing at the school. The school was fantastic. The teachers were great. The administration, thank you for sticking with me and all that. I mean, it could have been at some point like, you know what, this is too much.
I'm done.
We're backing out. And I wouldn't have blamed them, because they didn't even know about all the stuff. That's the crazy thing.
It was new to them.
Yeah, they were like, we have to what? With a what? With a who?
But you're approved.
With a who? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was fun doing all the shows and seeing everybody. I did enjoy talking at some of the schools and kind of towing the line. I do
wanna
the
ask,
comedy
though,
and I do the speaking.
After you got through all that red tape and bureaucracy, man, you finally got to talk to the teachers. Was it good? Were they happy?
It was great.
Okay.
But I will say also that their air conditioning did not work in the gym. We were in the gym.
Ooh.
So I was up there. I thought at one point I was going to have to play with serpents. I was like, ooh, we're having a good time up in here. We're having a good time up in here.
Devin was sweating like
But
Nick Cannon next
bring
to a
on the
pregnancy
rattles.
test.
Bring on the rattles. it turned into
That's
a
funny.
tent revival. It was
hilarious.
fun. But yeah, so I enjoyed it and hope to be back. And but
Oh,
yeah,
they won't have you back now. No. No.
I'm a vendor.
Yeah. I'm offended.
I got a badge. I can go anytime.
I got a badge.
I can go anytime.
It-
I just walk in, show my badge.
There you go.
Here to teach. Here to go in the class.
Right this way.
What's funny to me is there's more red tape on me as a vendor than I remember teaching. Like I don't remember having to do all that to teach.
A parent can walk right in, not you.
In fact, you know what's funny is I remember teaching and getting my photo badge 3 years after I taught because they didn't even have the requirement that I have a badge. And then later they changed it and I had to get my badge
That is
later.
crazy.
Yeah.
You're just walking around willy-nilly with no badge.
3 years, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But we would always have tests on that too. I don't know if other teachers would have tests. Did they ever test your school? Do you ever hear about this? So what they would do is they would test our school and they would have a plainclothes police officer go through the halls as an adult
Yes.
and
yes.
see if any teachers stopped them and be like, hey, sir, hey, come on, hey, can I help you? You looking for the office?
Whoa.
You know what? I'll walk you down there. That kind of stuff. They're looking for red flags, like they're looking at entry points, like how.
Okay.
And the sheriff's office would always conduct it, and I think we failed every time.
Did you really?
I think we
Everyone's
did.
apathetic. Like, I'm not talking to that dude.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I think it's harder because you teach seniors in high school, and sometimes they would send in officers that kind of almost fit in. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, there's the kid that failed 16 times, and these kids got beards.
Yeah.
These kids are,
I've seen
they
it.
look older.
Yes. So you don't know. Like, is he a student?
Yeah.
Do I say something to him?
I am in favor of something that I don't think a lot of schools utilize as much, but I am in favor of badges for everyone.
We had that.
Oh, yeah?
When I was in high school, we had
We didn't.
We had the ones that go around your neck, and everybody they would hang.
They didn't. We had them where everybody had them,
lanyards.
but they would clip them to their backpack, put them inside. I mean, you would have to literally go, "Can I see your badge?" And they'd go, "Oh, yeah, it's in the backpack
let me
somewhere."
get it.
It was never just visible. I think you should have visible badges.
Put it on the
as
lanyard, dude.
This person.
Yeah.
And the reason is nothing to do with safety. I just forget every student's name, and I can be like, "Did you turn in the assignment?" Chris.
Have you seen the new names? They have hashtags.
I know.
They're different. How do you pronounce that?
Flip that over. I got to see the rest of the name. Yeah, so it was. It's interesting to see what everybody goes through. All right, you ready to go into the teachers in the news, my
Rock
friend?
it out.
We had a local teacher that got to go to the Masters. Take me with you. I have put in for the Masters lottery and Wimbledon for years and years and years.
Is that how you go?
I have never gotten selected yet. It's
I
lottery.
didn't know that.
Lottery.
Just can't go buy a ticket.
Every year at the same time, I get the email going, submit for the lottery. And then 6 weeks later, I get, next time, try, here's how you might be able to view it. Otherwise, no. I never get selected.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, Wimbledon especially. Wimbledon's a bucket list for me.
So how do all those celebrities get tickets?
They buy it on the side market.
Okay, there you go.
I mean,
Gotcha.
technically, I think you can buy like Masters passes from somebody who won it in the lottery, but they're incredibly expensive.
I'm sure.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, but I've always wanted to go. And apparently this one started to go. This teacher, apparently Healthcare Heroes is what it was called. And they awarded Masters tickets to those in the healthcare field that were on the front lines of COVID. Well, this time it has evolved to Hometown Heroes.
Ah.
So during pandemic, they gave them to healthcare workers. Now it's local heroes in their communities, teachers of the year, first responders of the year, community leaders, incredible people in the community. And apparently there was a special teacher that embodied the entire thing that they were talking about. And it's Ewing Griffiths. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ewing Griffiths learned of the honor of her special needs classroom in elementary school. Apparently they gave her tickets to go see the Masters. And so she was in the middle of a lesson. Superintendent, several school leaders came in, and she'd been teaching for 28 years. They handed her the envelope, and she turned the whole thing into a lesson, by the way, which is pretty cool.
Good teacher.
And, so she got to go to the Masters. She said she's been soaking in the sights and sounds of Augusta. Let me tell you right now, when I was teaching, if you handed me Masters tickets, I would immediately go, we got $75 going once, $75 going twice, $150 because I would have needed the money so bad.
You know what I'd love more than the Masters? Paying rent.
I know.
Yeah,
that's how I was. So it's pretty cool. Apparently, she's an immigrant to the state, and she was daughter of an immigrant. She continues to encourage
that's awesome.
and inspire, and it's the students had nothing but kind things to say about her. So
how many tickets you get? By the
really
way?
cool. I don't know, but take me with you.
Yeah, exactly.
If
Next
she's
time.
like a crying in my car fan, we can go cry on the green, and I will be so happy. Oh man. So I received a few messages about this one, and I think this is a great idea. Now, we kind of talked about it a little bit on the last podcast, but now it's official, and we said that there's Pennsylvania. They have thousands of applications now to end the teacher shortage, and they're ending it by paying the student teachers a stipend.
We did talk.
Minimum of $10,000. Well, we have kind of a follow-up on it, and it said that numerous schools were having difficulty hiring and retaining those teachers. The student teaching requirements were pretty strict, and they said since they've done it, kind of a follow-up to it, they said they have had a ton of people submitting applications. And they have actually proposed, and this is the reason I'm bringing it back up, they had such success that they proposed an increase of $5 million to the program funding for next year. So they wanted to go from 10 to 15 million, and they're like, look, this is working, and I hope it keeps going. We need to pay the student teachers.
All right, could we take a moment and just soak this in? You're telling me that they not only gave a teacher program $10 million,
right?
They went back and said, let's up it?
Let's up it because it's so successful.
Come on!
Yeah, so Pennsylvania leading the way. I really hope student teachers get paid because it was so tough for me.
You were one.
I
Yeah.
mean, so tough. I was doing student teaching. I couldn't work.
No.
Essentially. I mean, you can't have a job outside of that. And I was doing the full day. Beyond that, I was new to it. So it was not only the full day, it was just something that would take a veteran teacher an hour to do at the end of school took me 4 hours.
Wow.
Because I would want to do it like so right. And I would want to make sure I'm not messing this up. My lesson planning, my PowerPoints, I designed everything by hand.
Yes.
There was no teacher pay teachers. Like I couldn't shortcut it. It was, okay, we're going to go over this chapter. It's going to take me typing all this out. I got to get to the fine points of it. I got to create this worksheet. I got to create this PowerPoint. I got to build this. I got to print that. I got to make copies over here. And man, the amount of hours I put in,
You put in a lot of time, man.
But unpaid.
Yeah.
I worked an entire half year unpaid as a teacher.
That's crazy.
So pay them. I love it.
I love how you said that because there's teachers out there now like, I feel the same way still.
Right?
Still not getting,
Yep. All right. In Alabama, they have approved their first ever alternative teacher prep program. We are seeing this from state to state. They're basically saying, look, there's non-traditional programs that we need. They put it up for a vote, and they said that it could bring, I love this, by the way, the superintendent is excited because it could bring dozens of teachers into schools. Dozens. I love how he set the bar so low. He's like, we could get like 4 or 5. And everybody's like, well, that's pretty good.
Whoa. That's crazy.
But I also think it's hysterical because they created the program. It's called I Teach.
Okay.
I Teach. I did a full series of 3 videos online called I Quit. It was the I Quit Institute. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's so funny that we are now they're utilizing my ideas to bring in teachers. But they said they're targeting people who have a college degree that are some way dissatisfied with their current work situation or pathway and want to become a teacher. And it's their newly approved program. They started to expand ways in which the alternative teacher program is going to prepare new teachers, but they don't have to go through the traditional certification. Basically, like, it could be teaching in the classroom for a while, 2 years to make this happen.
Okay.
Doing nighttime classes online. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So your traditional certification just doesn't need to happen. So we'll see. It says they have to have been established for at least 10 years. It says that the alternative program will be qualified for licensing in the state of Alabama if it does meet these requirements.
Okay, got it.
So there we go.
Makes
Just
sense.
making sure that we were on the same page. All right, we have a teacher who is helping a student receive a life-saving surgery. There was a student basically that was in need, and I'm trying to figure out. So this particular student was unable to speak, eat, or drink properly due to a cleft palate. And the teacher wanted to find out how to help. And so he reached out to local plastic surgeons. The actual teacher reached out to local plastic surgeons and thought, hey, maybe we could help this kid in need. And one of them responded back and said they'd be happy to do the surgery. And so they were able to make that student surgery happen so that the student can have their basic needs met. And she said, look, this student can't begin to learn till they're able to eat and have a normal life on their own.
Yeah.
And so it was amazing. But they had a donation room for students in need of shoes and clothing, and they said that she said the surgery is no different than that. We set up things of food drives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's providing a basic need. This student needed a basic surgery to have that need. It bothers me so much that we have to do this as a society. That a baby can be born, it just blows my mind. Unable to speak, unable to eat, and unable to drink properly. And there's a surgery that is able to correct that. Mm-hmm. And we have to wait till they're later in life for the kindness of a stranger to 1 in a million shot get a surgeon to actually do it. I get so angry at society. I mean,
I know.
You read these and you go, wow. And I get tired of going, wow. I want to go, yeah.
Yes.
It's supposed to happen.
That's the norm. But I'm going to take it from the other angle, though. Okay. I'm going to take it from the vantage point of the parent of that child.
Yeah.
Who literally just had a teacher become their guardian angel.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, thank God for a person like that teacher who was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try.
Right.
I'm just going to reach out and see what I can possibly get. And I know that the parents are probably over the moon excited and overjoyed their child's going to get a surgery that they couldn't afford probably to get.
Right.
Good for you, by the way.
Huge.
Yes, good for you.
Yeah. Again, really big applause to the teacher.
Yes,
that's a huge thing. And also, I wish that it would have said the surgeon's name.
That would have been nice.
I think that surgeon deserves that notoriety.
Shout out to
going,
that.
Hey, you could have taken the guy that's going to have the insurance pay you $40,000, but instead you went for, you know what, let me help a kid. That, to me, is the definition of a licensed medical professional. Somebody that literally sees a need and goes, I need that one to be filled first before I go cash my check over here. But hopefully we see more of that. Hopefully.
You truly are a caregiver at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So if somebody knows the surgeon name or something, or you've seen this article, comment it in the comments. We'd love to give them the proper accolades and I don't know, maybe I'll need a plastic surgery at some point, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna head over to Minnesota
or
wherever it is.
Just a little bit of Botox.
A little bit of Botox.
Yeah.
Yes, that might be out of my area. I better check my insurance. All right. This one, I'd love to hear from the teachers, because this actually, to me, sounds like a low statistic, but unfortunately also a high statistic at the same time.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's
I-
one of those
I
things
think-
we shouldn't have to deal with, but the fact that we do, I would think that we deal with it more.
Okay.
1 in 4 U.S. teachers say their school went into a gun-related lockdown in the last school year. A gun-related lockdown. Now, this is not something voluntary. This is simply there was violence nearby the school, a bank robbery, a carjacking, something to where they go, lock down the school. We don't want people in there. We don't want the kids coming out.
Understood.
And but 1 in 4, and yeah, wild.
The thing is, you don't want to think about it. I mean, as a parent, as a teacher, you don't want to think about possible violence at a school that your child's at, or if you're a teacher that I have to go back to every day.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about it.
No,
You're like,
you don't.
I
And it's brutal. I mean, it says 59% say they're somewhat worried about the possibility of a school shooting happening at their school. That's terrible. Teachers worried, 59%. But I remember we had several of those happen.
Yes.
We had several lockdowns happen at school because of local problems. You know, there's a neighborhood right next to the school, and a shooting happened in the neighborhood, and they locked down the school. And, and we're sitting there going, oh, man, but it's a good thing. You want it to happen, but it also is a crazy reality that 25% of our schools have violence just outside their doors.
And here's the thing, when I was growing up and I was in high school, we didn't have any of this. We didn't have threats of that kind of violence with guns and whatnot. I can't imagine nowadays as a student having that added anxiety of fearing someone coming to school with a gun. Can you imagine that? Like, it must weigh on you.
I mean, as a teacher, it weighed on me. I remember when they put the lines on the floor, and that was terrifying. They put lines on the floor saying, if there's somebody shooting in your door, this is where you go. And it's like, how about we don't have the shooter in the first place? How about we get rid of that? The hard part for me is I pull up to my kids' school, and outside the window they have the building, the room number on the window outside, and I know why they do it. It's because if there's a shooter or an active problem and they go, he's in 139.
They know.
They can approach it from the outside and go through the window. And that's so sickening to me.
Yeah.
I go, wow, I'm glad we have that, but what kind of world,
that we live in, that our kids are coming up in.
Yeah, it's frustrating too, to see the violence in schools that's being met, with resistance, like in terms of enacting policies.
Yes.
To me, it's mind blowing that, and I'm pro Second Amendment, but I'm not pro Second Amendment in the way that we're currently exercising the Second Amendment.
I understand that.
It's entirely too loose.
Yes.
I mean, we sit and these background checks are insufficient. And this stuff that we're doing, I mean, if you want to own a gun, cool. But also, every time we see another shooting, we go, oh, illegally owned. Oh, this person didn't have this. How did they get through the background? And it's like, why does this keep happening? So it's so frustrating that literally somebody sat at a school board meeting and goes, we should have numbers on the outside so the police can get in and possibly, take somebody out if they're shooting the children.
Yes.
But that's our solution? Numbers on the outside of the window?
Unfortunately. And here's the thing. No one says you can't have a gun. Hey, man, if you got a gun, that's your right. I just think there needs to be regulations on who gets it, background checks, make sure your mental health is correct. You're in the right state of mind to actually have a weapon. That's all I want, especially as a parent, and gun violence in schools is on the rise.
Yeah. And I want something a little stricter.
Yeah.
I get people go, you're trying to take away, they think that that's a stepping stone to, complete gun control. And I don't know that it is. I think sometimes it's okay to take additional precautions.
Yes.
We invented the car, and at some point we said, man, these people are flying out the window. We got to force them to put on a seatbelt. And we got to do better licensing requirements, and we got to make them renew every few years. And, that kind of stuff is to me basic.
Yes.
But maybe, I don't know. Now, we're done with the teachers in the news.
Okay.
I would like to talk about something that I was floored about. I got an email. I'm not going to uncover this person. They didn't give me their name. It's an anonymous email.
Ooh.
But when I read it, so I get a lot of emails from teachers that have like complaints about things in their school. And by the way, teachers, I think it's so funny. I will never like put your coworker on blast. Like people will email me and be like, "Can you talk about Chris over in room 407? Here's what he did wrong." And I'm like,
they're typing, Devin, could you talk about Becky? Could you tell her that she...
that's the kind of stuff I get. They're like, my coworker did this. Can you believe that? Anyways, if you could talk about that on your show, I'm like, I'm not going to talk about that on my show.
Her address is 23.
If you want to out her, here's a link to her Facebook. If you could post that on the actual description of the page. This one, I read it, and believe it or not, I read every email that comes in.
Yes, you do.
Now, sometimes I respond right away. Sometimes I don't respond. I get really, busy, but I try my best to respond to people.
You do.
This one said, I know this is long. Please try to make it through. And it is a very long email. Now, I'm going to give you the gist of it. Basically, in Texas, there are students that are taking this new standardized test called STAR.
Okay.
It's been around. I won't say it's new. In high school, it's the end of course exams. They're very high stakes. They said they're required for graduation, except some students with IEPs, and they directly affect the district and accountability ratings, possibly even the teacher bonuses. So. High stakes testing. Yes, with me, is. James?
Yes, I am.
All right. So anyways, they have English 1 and 2 tests with short answer and an essay question, and the students often struggle. These questions take up about a quarter of their overall score, and several of the students just skip them. 25% of the students scored 0 out of 10 possible points on the essay last year. This year, they have decided to change it up. It is a 2-week testing period. The students will take it. Thousands of these kids are going to be taking these tests.
Okay.
The problem is, and I was like floored when I saw this. James, they're stagger taking the test over 2 weeks, all Texas.
Okay.
It's the same test for all of them. Do you see?
Yes, I do.
Yes,
problem? I do. Yes, and just like you, sir, when it came to those tickets to the golf, I'll start the bidding at 75, can I get 100, can I get 100?
You want the answer? I got that.
Yes,
Yeah. So apparently it's already on TikTok. There are kids that have known for a full week what the essay prompt is. They know exactly what passages are on the test. They know what the trick questions are. Yes. All through social media, they've been sharing this. Mm-hmm. And they know what to say in the essay prompt. They have already shared on TikTok students using ChatGPT to pre-write the essays. And then they remember what the ChatGPT says, and then they rewrite the essays.
But please, can I ask one question? Please tell me no one's failing.
Well, that's the thing. The problem is, too, is somebody has to be the first. So you have teachers, districts, and students that are opening it for the first time. Mm-hmm. And they are having to take the test, and they are the guinea pigs.
Yes.
And I would love to know what their scores are compared to the ones that take it the following days after they've already seen it on TikTok. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's a curve. It's like,
yeah. And but there's going to be a lot of teachers that are, going to have low scores in the beginning and go, hey, I don't get a bonus now.
You sure
because the roll of the dice. We got it on the Monday.
Gotcha.
And then there's other teachers that are going to be like, money, because their students got it 2 Fridays after it's already been viral on all of TikTok. And I mean,
who?
As a teacher, can I tell you right now, I would be in class with my volume all the way up and just flip to it and be like, so guys, did you hear about the answer for the test? And I go, oh, sorry, you guys shouldn't have heard that. That was just a video on TikTok. Don't you dare go looking for it at James Young, comedian. That is none of your business. There's so many opportunities to cheat here. What I just, you sit and you think, well, it's not a bad idea to have this, but I don't know. Having an essay anyways, there's usually only 5 or 6 prompts.
Yeah.
But everybody takes it on the same day.
Yeah.
And then 5 or 6 prompts. I remember distinctly we did our Florida Rights test when I was young. And they had 4 or 5 prompts that you got. And we all took it on the same day.
Yes.
And literally everybody left, and we go, "What'd you get?"
Yeah, what you
and
get?
they'd be
That's
like,
how we did
I
it.
got this. What? Oh, you got this. Oh, you got the same one as me. Okay. I mean, we were talking within seconds of walking out that door.
Right.
And I can't imagine in the social media age going, "Bro, you got it tomorrow. Here's what I got." You know, I mean, I would hook you up. Well, if you had it on Tuesday and I had it on Monday, I'd call you and be like, "James, you're not gonna believe it." And you'd be like,
it'd be rude if you didn't. Okay. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Yep. By the way, Florida writes, perfect 6, by the way. Only one in my county.
Come on.
Only one in the entire county.
There you go.
Tens of thousands of students.
You know what? You should
perfect 6.
You should stand up and take a victory lap.
I would.
You should right now.
Yeah. I would, but my legs hurt. My knees.
Yeah. Once I'm down, I can't get up for a while.
But perfect 6, I remember this. I think I never told you a story.
I don't think you have.
So we had the Florida Rights, and I got the prompt. And man, I'm an outside the boxer. I'm a creative thinker.
Okay.
That's where I come up with comedy. And some people watch my sketches and listen to it on stage, and they go, I mean, educator Andrea, she left the show. She goes, "I didn't see any of your punchlines coming." She goes, "They were very good."
Nice.
I've always wanted that. I like the misdirect.
Yes.
I like the different. I think differently. And I remember when the prompt came, and it was like, describe who your hero would be or something like that. And I was like, no. And I wrote an essay.
I like that.
I believe I wrote an essay on why it's important not to idolize people like Michael Jordan. And I believe I went, talking left field. Oh. And I handed in, I said, this is a 0 or a 6.
There you go. There's no in between.
Luckily, I got a 6.
There you go.
Because I went way off, and I was like, "This is going somewhere or nowhere."
I gotta give you credit. That's pretty outside the box, bro.
It worked. It worked. I was like, everybody's gonna say, Michael Jordan at the time. And it's funny too because everybody said Jordan.
Yeah.
And because I remember all my friends that got that, they were like, hero, and I was like, who'd you put? And it was always Dad or Jordan.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like, and they were like, Jordan. I was like, so you don't have a father? And they're like, no. It was always that way. But
poor
yeah,
guy.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with this testing, but I can't imagine having the same exact test.
Let's definitely follow back up.
I want to see. I can't wait for the scores.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for the scores to come out. It's going to come out at the end of the school year too.
And what state again is it in?
Texas.
Always Texas, isn't it?
Oh, I'm always in Texas.
Texas,
Yeah.
man.
It's I love Texas. I love them because I go there. I speak there.
You do.
And I always thank them.
Yeah.
I say, you guys give us so much content on Crying in My Car. And but then they're like, really? You think we give you content?
Yeah.
They're like, Florida?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, all right, checkmate.
Yeah,
James, how can people find you, my friend?
As always, on Instagram and Facebook under James Yon Comedian. That's YON. Thank you, teachers. I got an uptick on people following me thanks to this gentleman and his viral video that he's doing. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Million. Anyways, no,
that's like getting a 6 on the Florida test.
Yeah, I went way out in left field.
You
6,
did.
I said 1 million or 0.
There you go.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for the follows, for the shares, for rating this 5-star. Check me out, devoncomedy.com, for all the upcoming tour dates. My solo dates are on there, as well as board teachers dates. And then don't forget, we are going on tour. The board teachers, we're back at it through the fall, through the winter, through the summer. All those tickets are on sale. Don't miss out. They all sell out. You're going to want to get tickets right away. Don't say later, because I have a lot of messages of people that go, really? And there's nothing left? And I go, told you. Sorry. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, podcast for teachers. There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that, But us, suggested things. That's us. Crying in My Car. Devin Siebold, James Yon, board teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.